Well, hello. Greetings, friends on the internet. My name is Jason, and I'm joined all the way across town by my friend Jeremy. Say hello, Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going?
So good. I'm excited because this is another episode of Parks and Conversation, where we have the opportunity to talk about one of the greatest television shows ever made by humans, Parks and Recreation. And so today we're talking about season 2, episode 12, and it's all about scandal.
A Christmas
Scandal,
scandal.
scandal, scandal. Yes,
Not the
Christmas scandal.
not the television show Scandal.
Not yet.
Have you ever
Not
seen that?
yet. No.
Yeah, me neither. All right. So what happens in this one?
Well, let me tell you why I've never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like it was part of the Grey's Anatomy universe at one point, and I have I have an ongoing boycott of Grey's Anatomy that just kind of happened, and I don't want to mess it up. So
Is that your personal by choice, or was that imposed upon? Was that boycott imposed upon you by a family member?
No, it was completely by my choice because my wife told me to. No, my wife is a nurse, and as is your wife,
Mm-hmm.
and Kathy, my wife, whom I love, she has no interest in it, and so we just never watch it. So I don't often boycott things, but I've got a good run going here, so I'm going to keep it.
That's how I feel about
So,
Avatar. Like I've never seen Avatar,
really?
and at this point, it's like, I think
Yeah,
I think it's like Pocahontas. That's what I heard.
it is. It's like Fern Gully and Pocahontas,
Yep,
but in space.
I'm good.
It's a really, really bad movie. It's
Hmm.
not good. The MacGuffin that they're going after,
Yeah,
it's hard to get, and so
as
it's named Unobtainium.
perfect.
Yeah, it's so dumb. My brother and I saw it on Christmas Day, and because it's supposed to have just amazing 3D, and it was. The 3D was amazing, and that was the second to last 3D movie that I've ever seen.
You really got your money's worth for that third D.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, James Cameron really worked hard on the 3D for that movie, and it was
Mhm.
good. But the 3D did not create depth in the movie
Oh,
or
wow, nice.
storytelling. What now, sucker?
Well done.
Yes, nailed it. It's also all movies are 3D, so it's really a 4D movie because we went through the dimension of time.
Mm.
So anyway, today in this episode of Parks and Conversation, we're not going to talk about Avatar or
Mm-mm.
Scandal or Grey's Anatomy any more than we need to.
I think we did that.
And yeah, we definitely hit our quota forever. And so this is a Christmas scandal, and the basic premise is Leslie inadvertently uncovers a scandal with Councilman Dexhart. It's a sex scandal, and Dexhart is the worst. That's the basic synopsis, and all the things that fall out from there. That's the show. So,
This is a Christmas episode,
yeah,
right? I
yeah.
mean, this is right before the Christmas break, when it aired, and then they took a bit of a break. So what did you feel about like the Christmassy aspect of this episode?
I thought they did a fine job talking about Christmas. So, I mean, it was like the city hall people, they can only do so many things for a Christmas event, right? So I feel like they honored that part of the story, uh, not to try to be overly Christmas or Christmas miracle. It's like
Yeah,
Christmas is happening in town and we have some events we got to plan, but it's really not about Christmas. It's about the events. Does that make sense?
no, totally. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was going for.
So, yeah, so it was good. I wasn't offended as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus. I wasn't offended that they didn't spend more time talking about the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, because cities don't care about that.
Yeah.
And they don't need to. And that's okay. So, but this episode starts off with a Christmas tradition in Pawnee where they are doing the Christmas Follies, which is a thing in Pawnee where the different departments take turns roasting the whole city and all the different departments.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like a fun tradition that can get people fired.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much fun it really is, but good for you guys. So this year was the Parks Department's turn, and so they are making jokes about how crazy the mayor's dog is and the raccoon infestation. And then Leslie comes out dressed as Councilman Dexhart, and she starts to talk about all of this made up sex scandal because Dexhart is a total sleaze, and it's not outside of the realm of possibility that that he would have to have a press conference about a sex scandal. And so
Mhm.
she just starts making stuff up. Um, and everybody loves it. The whole city is like, this is the funniest thing we've ever seen. Public corruption. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they were okay with it. Like, yeah, that's right. Nailed it, Leslie. Yeah.
it's like this is our town. And but people loved it, and applause is had, follies are falled. And
Did you notice how Donna just kind of like stood on stage the whole time? Like at the end they sang, but
mhm.
when they were doing all their things, like Donna's just like standing there, like she was Leslie's bodyguard the whole time. I don't know why I noticed that. It was just funny to me.
I did not notice that, but I was also taking notes. So I was looking at my phone as I was typing my notes. So that might be part of why I didn't notice that.
Hmm.
I do like how Donna at the in the wrap up song just really just like it starts belting the notes just like at the top of her lungs, just going for it.
Yeah, she's a good
Which is
singer.
she is a good singer, but that's really the first time we see Donna really do anything like for all her might, you know?
It's
So I was
true.
like, wow, good job, Donna. Um, yeah, so that then it comes to the credits, and they come back and they're out on lot 48, and they have filled in the pit, and now they are using lot 48 as a place to do a big Christmas festival for the town with Christmas tree lighting and inflatables and Santa costumes and all kinds of different things. And this is one of my favorite sections or lines in all of the show happens in this episode. And I looked it up because I want to say it just right. Okay. So Leslie is talking to the crowd or the whole staff here. And she says, so let's talk sked, guys. The kids are going to come around 9 a.m. on Saturday, and everyone's going to do Santa for 2 hours. So I would just advise everyone before you get into your costume to go to the bathroom so we can avoid what happened last year. Jerry Gergich. It was just farts. I love that so much because everybody knows that after Jerry was done wearing the Santa costume, it was funky, and and it's just his response is, "It was just farts."
Hey, can't get it on you. Come on,
But
guys.
you also can't get farts out of a big, heavy Santa costume. Like the fabric itself is so thick,
Yeah,
and then like even if it was trying to get out of the neck area, you've got a beard to trap the farts in.
yeah,
So it's just all losses if somebody farts in a Santa costume. I mean, the only thing worse would be an Easter Bunny costume because then you've got an actual
helmet.
dome over your head,
Yeah,
trapping in all
yeah.
of the farts.
Fart sphere.
So yeah, a fartosphere. Exactly. It's a big deal. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things. And now that we've come to this episode, I think I'm ready to wrap up this whole podcast.
All right.
It was just farts.
I knew it.
and,
I knew it. This is where it was going to end up.
and the way he says it is just, it just makes me laugh so hard because it's so having Midwestern relatives, like the way you say the arts sound, like it was so perfect. Like it's just farts.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I've said fart enough on this episode. And so Leslie is also talking about the schedule for the day. And she's like, it's a big deal this year. Our Christmas tree lighting is going to be broadcast on internet radio. And Tom is like, wow, that's really awesome. Listening to that Christmas tree lighting on the radio is going to be amazing. So that was great too. I'm Tom again pointing out the ridiculousness of Leslie's plans and what she's excited about. Is like, that's not something to be excited about. So
Yeah, this episode just came out guns blazing with the jokes. It was very
yeah.
high jokes per minute, I feel, from the get-go.
Yeah, agree. And so April, not
Yeah.
April comes to Leslie and says, "Hey, Councilman Dexhart wants to meet with you." She says, "Shut up." And April's like, "No."
No.
So Dexhart wants to meet with Leslie. At this point, we don't know why. It's kind of weird. Maybe he's offended that Leslie has made fun of his proclivities.
But hold on.
Yeah.
I got to be this guy because the order of things sets up the joke so well. So before that, April asks Andy for help picking a gift out for her boyfriend.
Was that before
No,
the Dexhart invite?
Yeah, it was right before the Dexhart invite, and you'll see why I had to bring it up, just because the editing and the timing of it was great. And what I thought was cute about that whole thing was, like, this is kind of the first spark, where they are actually, Andy and April are kind of talking to each other, and then they give each other a high five. But it wasn't just any kind of high five; it was a Top Gun high five. So it's the high, and then as you're going by the person, you swing down low and reconnect. Mm-hmm. And you got to know that's coming. That's just not something. So it just shows from the very beginning, those guys, they were in sync. They were meant for each other. That's the way I took the Top Gun high five. So
right
there you go. Yeah. But that's not the whole reason why I brought that back up, even though I thought that was important. But yes, so they meet at the restaurant. Continue.
So, well, I have here with this April asking for help part.
Yeah,
this is important because the way she's asking, she's like, "I need you to help me buy something for my gay boyfriend."
Yeah,
for Christmas. And so he's like, Brokeback Mountain. Fellas love that.
That's love that. Yeah.
So he says, "Okay, great, I'll help you." But as she's leaving this conversation with Andy, like, she's all lit up. She's so happy because this is just a ploy to have a reason to spend time with Andy.
Yes.
So Andy's oblivious to this kind of stuff, but it's pretty great the way that April is, like, wanting to spend time with someone she has a crush on. It seems very natural to, like, try to find reasons for these kinds of interactions. So I was like, good writing, guys. So Dexhart wants to know. They get to the restaurant, and Leslie and Dexhart are meeting, and right away he's like, "Who told you?"
Yeah.
Told me what? Like, about all of the scandal, all the stuff that I did. Like, you're joking, but, like, there's a new scandal coming. And so he's trying
it turns out to be worse than what she even joked about in the beginning, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes, it's worse than you can imagine because Dexhart is awful. He's terrible. He's an awful person. And how he was ever elected to city council is amazing. And it's revealed later on in the series, like, his district is a dumpster fire. But just matches him as a person because he's the worst. But Leslie's like, "I don't know anything about anything, and I don't know what this happened." So then Dexhart's like, "Oh, well then, haha, just kidding. None of this happened." So Dexhart says, "Oh, forget we ever had this. This is just a joke. No big deal." And Leslie is confused, bewildered. Cut to the next day, and Leslie is now the focus of this scandal with Councilman Dexhart. She's on the news. It's on the Pawnee Sun, which is just a tabloid, and nobody reads it except Donna, who was like, "Yeah, way to go, Leslie. Right? Good job."
Wait, was that the next day? I thought they met for lunch, or was it dinner? The only reason why
the restaurant was really dark, so I thought it was nighttime.
It could have been. I maybe I'm wrong, but I took it as, like, they had lunch, and by the time she had gotten back, the Pawnee Sun had already run the story. Like that, I guess that's why I thought it was so funny that, like, those scenes were back to back, because the Pawnee Sun was so fast. Like, they had taken the picture from outside of them meeting, ran the story, and it was already at the city hall by the time she got back. But
that would be impressive in any media environment, because I don't know anyone who has an afternoon paper anymore. But again, Pawnee contains many mysteries. They have way too many reporters, way too many media outlets. They've got a lot going on in this small town in Indiana. So
we see the whole thing. It's in full swing in this episode. So
we see we see papers, we see multiple papers. First of all, we see Perd Hapley, we see Joan Calamezzo, we see so many things happening media wise that it's insane. So, um, so Leslie's the focus of the scandal. She looks up to the TV. It's on the TV, and we see Perd Hapley talking about the scandal as well. And he calls her Leslie Norp, and and I love the way he ends his paper. Is like they left separately, but no one knows where they woke up together.
Yeah. The story of this story is that it won't stop developing.
I love Perd so much, and I looked him up on IMDb because I was like, what is he doing? What's he up to?
More reporter stuff.
Yeah, he's over and over again cast as a reporter, and so by the time he gets to I don't know, he's just like falling into this newscaster role, and this I'm sure he loved doing this because all the other ones were like serious shows, but here he gets to be a complete doofus. So so he's great. Just no one knows where they woke up together.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Leslie's office, and Andy comes in and is like, Leslie, I've heard a lot of chatter at this shoe shine station. And some people are like, I totally would. I would never. I heard she's down to clown, and like all kinds of like just terrible stuff. And none of it's actually helpful.
Not at all.
Leslie's like, okay, well, keep your ear to the ground. So
he's like, oh, okay. And he leaves.
Right. Like, I've got an assignment. I've got a job to do.
Got a job now. He's such a golden retriever. Like that's just his personality. He's like, okay, I'll see ya.
Exactly. And having a golden retriever, I get it. I see it perfectly because I can ask my dog to do anything. She won't, but she will think she's helping, no matter what. Today we were rearranging our living room furniture, and
congratulations.
Yeah, it's a big step in any family, and so we're moving couch and chairs and all kinds of stuff. And Maggie is our golden retriever, not like another child, but she was just standing in the way all the time. Every time we pick something up, she's like, okay, where are we going with that? I'm like, you're not going anywhere. You're in the way. So,
right.
It's Andy. All right. So they go back to the Christmas lot space. And this is where, Leslie's out in the public, and now she's vulnerable to the press. And so somebody comes from another newspaper, and the reporter,
Alexa Softcastle.
Yes, Alexa Softcastle, which is so great because Hardcastle's a real name. I have never heard Softcastle in my life, and this is one of the fun things about the Michael Schur universe is he has a lot of fun with names. So the downside is I have an Alexa right by my television, and so as soon as Alexa Softcastle said her name, Alexa started saying, "I will now look up Softcastle."
Oh,
and
she didn't try to find all the Hardcastle episodes. Did you mean Hardcastle?
No, she
said looking up Nathan Fillion.
No, she said now playing Softcastle, which I was like, I kept yelling at her, "Shut up, Alexa," and she wouldn't. And so I guess it was some kind of game she wanted to play. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it was terrible. So
I yelled at Siri one time. I was like, "Siri, you are worthless," and she replied, "I'm trying my hardest."
Yeah, Siri will throw some shade at you.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I felt bad. I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah,
I'm the human here, but I still apologized.
You may be the human, but are you the higher life form?
I don't think so.
That's the real question. Yeah. So we're in a her situation with Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Ron intervenes, and then they're like, "All right, we need to let Leslie just lay low, get out of the picture, and we'll just take over her job for the day and just see like what we can do to help her not have to worry about all this insanity." And so they break up into teams, and then cuts to Leslie and Dave having dinner. And at this point, I had forgotten that Dave was still in the show. I don't know why, but I was like, "Oh, Dave's still here." So Dave, they're having dinner, lunch, meal. I don't know. I'm very confused about the time things are happening in this episode. So they're eating together, and then it cuts to Leslie and Ron and April, who are filling in for a meeting of auditing systems. And Paul, the city manager, comes in and is like, hey, where's Leslie? And Ron's like, hey, I gave her the day off. And so Ron's like, Paul's like, okay, so you're going to do her presentation for her. And Ron's like, yep.
I love too when they split up to take all of her tasks. They split the whole staff up into groups, and everybody's like, well, it looks like if we just each take 10 items a group. So I mean, it just shows, and I think that's the point of this episode, is like shows how much Leslie does for Ron and the parks, which was
and the whole city.
And the whole city, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it was important to see, because by the end of the episode, Ron is relieved when Leslie comes back.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was like, we can't do this without you. So she is essential. So then it cuts back to Dave and Leslie in the restaurant, and Dave says, my unit is being called up to active duty, and we're in San Diego, going to be gone for a year. And he says, Leslie, you should come with me. So this creates some tension here, because all the stuff happening with Dexhart, like, this would be a great time to leave.
That was a great joke too, because he's like, I'm being called up, and she goes, oh my God, like he's going to war. Where are you being stationed? San Diego. Oh my God, like that's like going to San Diego's worse.
Well, for Leslie, anywhere other than Pawnee is a terrible place to be,
right? And
so I get it, but it's always funny when you're like, no, San Diego's actually awesome. I love San Diego. So now she's going to be thinking on that. But then it cuts to Tom and Mark, and they're working together.
Yeah, who thought that was a good idea? That was my first thing. I was like, why these guys?
Again, Mark is not part of the parks department.
It's true.
Like, he has his own job. Leslie's not his boss. He has his own stuff to do. So, but they're working together, and they're going through the list. And one of the things is get beer for the sanitation department. And they're like, no, they can get their own beer. Keep going. So then they start talking, and he's like, Tom says, Mark, what are you getting Anne for Christmas? And he says a computer bag because she asked for it. And Tom's like, that's terrible. That's an awful gift. And you should get her a diamond, because even girls, when they know it's a blood diamond, they're still like, yeah, give me that diamond. So
make it extra bloody. It's a steak.
So, so that's throwing some confusion with Mark. He's like, I don't know, like, she wanted it. Why wouldn't I not get her what she wanted? Then it cuts to Leslie at Anne's house, right? Yeah, and they're watching Joan's show on Pawnee Today.
Yep.
And Joan has a guest who is an expert on body language, I guess. And they go to a show from an event from 4 years in the past, where Leslie and Dexhart are in the same place because they're both public officials, and they shake hands, and the body language expert's like, clearly Leslie is demonstrating that she wants Dexhart here. So
she literally just pulled up her pants.
Right.
Like that was it. It was like she was just adjusting her blazer and pants. That was it.
Yeah. So so they're a mess on the Jones show, which is just par for the course. And so Anne manages to get Dexhart to come meet with Leslie. And I love there, it's like, it was surprisingly easy to get him to come to this.
Right.
This guy is a total sleaze. So Leslie confronts Dexhart saying, hey, you have to tell the truth. Like, this is not me. I didn't have anything to do with this. And he's like, no, this is actually better for me. What's happening now is way better. So I'm not going to say anything about it. And then Anne and Andy meet, and he's like, I got some ideas. They go through the different stuff that he has ideas for gifts. But then April says, well, what would you want? They say gifts for yourself that you would like. What would you like? And he's so specific. When a Reggie Wayne jersey that he wore after he just won the Super Bowl. It's like, okay, not going to happen. But
then also maybe April's boyfriend would like a hip hop abs DVD too.
Right. Yes. And spray tan tattoos, or spray tan gift certificates, or a trip to Germany.
Yeah.
I love that Andy like really thought about it.
Yeah. So he's like, Germany's awesome. But has he ever been? Like, is he just assuming it's not? Like, these are the questions I need answers to.
Well, like, I would say on good authority that Andy never had the money to go to like Illinois, let alone Germany. So
maybe that's why he was so broke, because he spent it all going to Germany. I don't know.
there are many things that could be true.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then the cuts to another segment with after Dexhart and Anne and Leslie met. Cut another segment where they're watching the Joan Calamezzo show again, and now Anne has gotten roped into this schedule or this scandal, and it's like, look how close together these two women are standing. Anytime two women are close together, it means they're lesbians, and it's like, wow, body language expert, you are the worst. So finally, Leslie's like, we got to just deal with this. And so she's going to just go on Joan's show. But then it cuts back to the Christmas bonanza thing. And there are raccoons everywhere. They're taking over the park. And Ron's like, who has let this happen? Sanitation didn't come and take away all the trash. So now the raccoons are invading and, they will take small children. Like, we've got to fix this. And that's when Tom and Mark say, oh, we did not get beer for sanitation. This was on us. We'll take care of it. But just again, showing the terribleness of the raccoon problem in Pawnee. So this is an ongoing issue. These raccoons mean business.
They will hunt the kids for sport.
Yeah. So
also, why does sanitation need beer when they're getting paid to take away the garbage? Like, this isn't a special assignment.
Well, I don't think it's about the special assignment as much as it's saying, Leslie saying, I appreciate that you're doing this because it's extra. It's more like, there isn't normally a park here. There isn't normally a dumpster here. Thank you. So Leslie is a proactive appreciator. So, yeah. But I mean, it does feel like sleazy when you're like, if it's just like, is she bribing them? But I think she's just being nice. I've heard of this being nice thing.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
All right. Well, they already made the show. So
okay. Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it. So, so then Leslie's on Pawnee today and she's trying to say like, look, I have nothing to do with this scandal. This is not my problem. And everything is getting way out of proportion. And then Joe's like, well, I have a surprise guest for us today. It's Councilman Dexhart. And he comes out, I was like, hi, honey. Like right away. Sleaze. Everything about him. Sleaze. It's the worst.
And I love that Pawnee today is the court of what is it? The court of public opinion, because twice now Leslie's gone on. Like, there was the penguin situation. She's like, what did I do? Oh no, and then she says too, she's like, why am I the one that's on trial? He's the sleazeball. So it's like she's always having to come defend herself in Pawnee's court, which they don't have yet. It's coming, but not.
It's going to be a while, and it's worth it.
And it's totally worth it. So I just think that's funny how anytime somebody has to defend themselves, it's on Pawnee today.
Yes. And the whole arc of Joan Calamezzo and the power that she has in this town is amazing. And there used to be a thing in our area called Northwest Afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Northwest Afternoon?
Yeah.
It was on Channel 4.
Yeah.
It was a train wreck of a show. I mean, it was not good. But every day there was a segment where I believe her name was Nancy would come on and she would give summaries of everything that happened on the soap operas that day. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It was so awesome because she was like, ladies, you need to know what happened in our stories today. And it was so great. And like, I don't care about soap operas, but if Northwest Afternoon was on, I would watch it just for this segment because it's like, this is amazing, the level of passion that she has for this world. And so, yeah, so I feel like Joan has the same level of power as Nancy. And it was awesome. It was so great. So every time I see Joan's show, I think about Northwest Afternoon. It's long gone because there's like 4 hours of the Ellen show now on different channels. So
whatever happened to Dialing for Dollars with Art Peterson, like that?
Oh my gosh, yes, Dialing for Dollars was awesome.
Yeah.
I would always want them to call us.
We
because
need more shows like that.
they called the viewers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you had to actually like give them your number.
Yeah. Well, no. I think wasn't it random? I'm
Well,
pretty.
I can't believe it would be random.
Well, I mean, like 206, like it was from the area.
Right. Yeah. Like limited to the area that they broadcast to. Right.
Yeah.
But how would they know that people would watch?
I think that's the whole thing, is like they knew that people weren't watching, so they had to call them to say, "Hey, are you watching? Oh, too bad. You could have gotten some money."
Now they're just rubbing it in.
Yeah.
No, I'm at work. Well, I wish you were lazier. You'd be getting paid right now.
I actually went to church with Art Peterson in Tacoma.
Really?
That's very true. Yeah. He drove a Jaguar. So,
well, of course, he's dialing for dollars. Why wouldn't he be?
He had dialing for dollars money. So,
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
he was nice. I just wanted to say that too. It's not like I just, we weren't best friends, that we had Taco Tuesday or anything, but he was a really nice guy.
Okay. I believe it.
Okay.
I believe it. So where are we at in this episode of Parks and Conversation? So Dexhart comes out and then it cuts to Ron. He's now running a forum, which is part of Leslie's normal job.
So good.
And I love the town forums, and the first lady to speak says, I found a sandwich in the park and I want to know why it didn't have any mayonnaise on it.
Yeah.
And then Ron laughs and she's like, why are you laughing? This is serious. It's like, oh, this is for real. Yeah. So
there are too many people like that in the world, I feel.
Who will complain about a free sandwich that they found in the park.
Yeah. Why doesn't it have mayonnaise? Why?
Yeah. So that is pretty amazing. And then the other one, there was another one. I didn't have time to write it down. Oh, somebody else said something.
He goes, I don't think kids should play on the big toys. He's like, sir, we wipe down the big toys if you're afraid of the swine flu. He's like, I already got the swine flu.
That's right.
I'm worried about the turtle flu.
Yes.
The turtle flu? The turtle flu.
Yeah. So,
I mean, 2020 is not over. So don't discount it.
No, there's big doings in the Parks Department issues. And yeah, so sorry, I have a child that came in. All right, we'll take care of it.
So it's okay. Dexhart is still, now we cut back to Pawnee today, and Dexhart's still playing it up, and Kalamazoo says, like, basically, can you prove it? Or I think Leslie says, can you prove it? And Dexhart bluffs and says, yeah, there's a mole on her right buttocks.
Right.
Buttock?
I don't know how to say it, but it happened. And Leslie's like, you've never even seen my butt. And so Joan is like, well, how are you going to prove it? And so finally, Leslie's like, all right, fine. And she shows Joan her butt on television. And Joan's like, there is no mole. There is no mole. And then it's like, well, Councilman Dexhart, how are you going to respond to no mole gate? So,
I love his response too. Like, he's like, yes, it's all false, but I have no plans to resign. Like,
right away. I'm not resigning. I'm not giving up. So he's the worst. Yeah. The worst. All right. So that scandal's over. Whew. They go back to Leslie and Dave having dinner, and Leslie tells Dave, "Look, I can't leave. In the craziness of this town, I can't leave." And so she decides to stay, and he's going to San Diego. And then she goes to the Christmas thing, and the whole Parks Department is there. Her mom's there.
Are you trying to get out of this quick? But I love that when he's like, she's like, do you want your ticket back? He's like, no, come visit me. I mean, there is a $75 change fee, but I can pay for it, or I could reimburse you. I mean, there's lots of ways we can handle it.
We can work it out. Yeah, Dave is very procedural.
Yeah.
And so like he's gonna like follow the rules. And he's like, yeah, keep it. We can change it, whatever. So Leslie goes to the thing, and her mom says, I'm really proud of you. You stood up to Joan. That was great. And the team is waiting there. And Leslie's like, you guys, the tree should have been lit up an hour ago. And like, we waited for you, which was great. Like they love Leslie, and they want her to enjoy the things that she worked so hard for. And so like, yeah, we waited for you. You get to light it. So they count it down and they light it. I'm sure the internet radio really, really loved it.
It sparkled.
And one of the things that's happening here is Andy is Santa.
Yes, you saw it too.
At this sign. Yeah. And a kid tries to pull his beard, all kinds of stuff. But also when Andy hugs April, a side hug, and April is like super smiley.
Yeah.
So I was like, she is into him. So,
And he has
yeah,
no clue.
anything?
No clue.
No, he's oblivious. He will find out. He will find out. All right. So, anything else at the Christmas thing that stood out to you?
No.
Okay. So then it cuts to the credit scene. Andy is at the shoe shine and sees a present there, and it says it's from April. It says thanks for your help, and he opens it, and it's a Reggie Wayne jersey. So she clearly was paying attention to Andy. And then cuts to Mark and Anne, and Mark got her the computer bag, and she was really happy about it. And then Anne says, "I got you a really lame gift. I got you Pacers tickets. They're not even good." And Mark says, "I actually got you a second gift. You don't have to go with me to this game." and Anna's like, "Yes, thank you."
See, that was one of the better, like, if they could have done, I don't know how, but that was one of their better, like, relational interactions. Like, that was fine. I thought that was a funny joke. I didn't totally hate it.
No, it seemed like a normal thing normal people would do.
Yeah.
And in this whole show, Anne and Mark are the most normal people.
Right.
Even though Mark's the worst. And I will keep saying that.
Stand by that. Who's more worse, like Dexhart or Mark?
Oh, Dexhart is a worse person.
Uh-huh.
But Mark is useless for this show.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Right? Dexhart is actually a useful comic ploy.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark is boring. So
there can only be one one boring person on there, and it's Anne. We like her.
Anne is better.
Take off.
Much
Mark.
better.
Yeah.
Get out of here. So
Leslie comes back to the office. Yeah.
Yeah, she comes back and Ron's like, "Here, you've got all this stuff. You got messages about things I don't understand." Yeah, thank you. And so Leslie sits down, answers the phone. This is Leslie Knope from the Parks Department. And it's like everything is normal in the world again.
Yeah.
And everyone is relieved.
Yeah, it didn't end like the I don't know, the cold close or whatever they call it at the end was not necessarily like a joke. It was just kind of very sweet and just kind of completed that bit of time for the show before as they took their break into Christmas, which I thought was nice. Right. Yeah, it was really nice. I like this episode too because when they let Leslie, you started to bring it up, when they let Leslie light the tree and show that they cared. You know, they had gone on the hunting trip, and we've seen now, if you look at the group from episodes 1, 2, 3, 4 to now, like they really are starting to come together as a group. You know, I mean, they're going to have their like as almost like a more of a family group. They're going to have their problems and stuff, but they're starting to look out for each other. And I think that's why this show gets so great down the road, is that they can have tons of conflict, but at the end, we know that they're all in it together versus just these separate, you know, entities flying in and out of each other's lives. So this is, it starts to really show it, especially in this episode, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. They're not just people who work together. Like they actually like each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It is, yeah, they're starting to gel, starting to build these dynamics. We're going to get Officer Dave out of the way, and that'll be nice. So yeah, it'll be good. So, because we don't have to deal with Dave anymore. And yeah, the actor who plays Dave, who shall be nameless.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this was a good episode. And looking at IMDb, this is rated at 8.1.
Yeah, that feels good.
I can take it.
Yeah.
I can take it.
It had everything. It had Purd. I mean, we got a little more Donna, great line from Jerry. There was a lot of meals. I mean, they ate a lot in this episode. There was Christmas lights, fake beards, the hottest nightclub in New York. No.
Wow.
Perfect.
My dogs are freaking out again. So, yeah, so it was a all around great picture of the city of Pawnee. Like, you know, you really fleshed it out a little bit more. So yeah, good episode. And I look forward to more of these next week, or the next episode we're going to look at is called The Setup. And so we're going to introduce a character for a few weeks named Justin. We're going to have a cameo by Will Arnett, which is really great. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Things are going to get weird here for Leslie coming up because we're also going to go to Leslie's house. There's going to be a conflict with Sweetums, which is going to be fun. There's going to be fun stuff. Galentine's Day, a lot of great stuff coming up. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to it. So
awesome.
We'll have to circle back around and then put a pin in it. Gather the wagons and
integrate it vertically.
Yes,
we'll get some traction with this.
Yeah, get some cross market traction. So anyway, all right. Well, that's enough.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
Sounds good. Bye.